Let's get right to the benefits. What is e-commerce? What is a payment gateway? All I know is I go on Amazon and I order something and I get it in FedEx in a couple of days. Well, these transactions, these purchases have to go through a secure payment methodology, and that's what we are. And we also settle. It's just to our advantage that we live here in the Cayman Islands. Many people want to settle their transactions in the Cayman Islands. If I use PayPal, I will have my transactions sitting in a PayPal account. I can't go shopping at Foster's with my PayPal account. I want the money that for the goods and services that I sell to go directly into my local bank account, so I can use it, whether to invest back into my company or for my own purchasing habit. All right. So, streamlining payments and collections. We want to be able to be paid for our services immediately. We don't want to wait 3 weeks for a check and another 5 days for it to clear. Isn't that crazy? We want to have that money. Currently, the transactions settle every night at midnight. So by the time they do, the banks do their admin work, you'll be able to go shopping at noon the next day. Okay, so that is pretty immediate. Collections. We've got a large age debt issue here. We're a very transient island. People come and go all the time, and they leave behind a cable and wireless, or not cable and wireless, but flow, and so now a CUC bill, which is why the down payment is so high. We want to be able to collect that age debt in an effective manner. We want to be able to have these people who owe the money be able to just go on our website and just make a payment immediately, right? Because if they have to wire us money or send us a check, which we'll never receive, we want to make it easy for them to be, they have no excuses to pay down their debt.
Sorry, can I, because of my vision and small room, just wondering what the movement back and forth.
Oh, sorry, am I making you dizzy?
Yeah, for me, but
right.
others may not. Just curious.
Wait till I get into my Elvis stuff. All right. I mentioned the virtual terminal, invoicing module, and payment plans. We'll go over these real quickly. We'll be interactive with them. We'll shout out and you can give us the name of a plan that applies to you. We'll create one quickly. We'll send an email to the customer. They can log into a secure portal. They can add their payment method, which will be their credit card details. And then we'll talk a little bit about recurring payments. So we never have visibility to the credit card. With all the data protection laws, we don't want to. It's crazy still that we'll take credit card payments over the phone. Or we'll open a drawer and we'll have a bunch of slips of paper with somebody's credit card details in there. Not only is it against the law, it's just that we don't want to be on the hook for holding somebody else's credit card details, right? Dual currency. Yeah, KYD and US. All right, so we can accept both. Soon we'll be able to select other different currencies, but that's for a different discussion. Removing administrative overhead. So we've got a lot of fitness centers that use our gateway, and as well as many others. However, the owners will spend the weekend running credit cards, their whole weekend, just running credit cards for every monthly payment. If you're on that payment, if you're on a payment plan, you know, $69 a month or whatever it may be, they got to run these cards. You're going to have human error. It's time consuming that you could otherwise be selling your business. So the recurring payments allows, and the payment portal allows for that to just happen automatically in a secure way. And I mentioned the payment errors. Now, protecting from penalties and fines. Anyone here get a water bill? Anyone pay a late payment on the water bill? So if it's got to be due on the 24th, but they send it out to you on the 21st, you don't really have much time to pay that bill. So you want to be able to, or the registrar of companies, you need to get the company incorporated for anyone who's incorporated. And you know, a lot of companies incur penalties because they're late fees because they just don't get it with the company registered on time. And execute effectively on international growth. We don't have to just focus our business in the Cayman Islands anymore. We've got the whole world to market to. There is a something about the Cayman Islands that everyone wants a little piece of, especially if you've ever visited here and you go back home. Oh, geez, maybe I want that. Maybe I want that thing from Will. Maybe I want to do a top up, from Green Turtle. And Will's an existing customer of ours as well. Maybe I want to buy that turtle that I saw over at the Turtle Center. Maybe I can just order it online. These are the types of things, whatever product or service you're offering, when somebody goes back home, you don't want to wait till they come back before they purchase something from you again. These could be lifelong customers. All right, and then the bank opening account. That's always fun. And I'll show you two applications that everyone gets. In my experience, there's a huge fear factor. Oh my God, the bank's gonna want to know all my details, all my dirty past. They're gonna want to know everything about me. It's gonna be expensive. I can't afford that. I'm just starting my own business. Well, I never want cost to be a barrier for using e-commerce. And I'll work with every single one of you to make this happen. Because every statistic shows that every brick and mortar sale is tripled by an e-commerce sale. And that's how we want to run our business. But we need our bank account first. So I will help you with your business plan. I will help you with your paperwork. My office is just upstairs here. And please feel free to call me from anytime. We will get the process going. I assure you it's not as expensive as you think. And it is affordable. So fear is very powerful. So that's part of the hurdle that we'll overcome together.
Question on that point. Surely most small businesses have existing bank accounts, the usual suspects on IE. Were those accounts, do you need a separate, different bank account for e-commerce? You can't just say social
question. Can I move for this question to answer this?
Oh,
sorry, there you are. I'm moving so much I'm getting vertigo. Well, the merchant acquirers, which I'll mention too, are the banks here. The two banks that we work with are Scotiabank and Butterfield, currently. Now, looking for Jamil from RBC, who was supposed to be here. We are discussing with the other banks right now to be able to process, because changing a bank account is like changing your telephone number. Nobody wants to do it, right? So, and then a lot of companies maybe just have a personal account. So we help you get your corporate account. And then with your corporate account, you need what is called your e-commerce account. That sits on top of your corporate account. All right. And that, with your e-commerce application, I'll help you with that. It's only 3 pages. It's no big deal. I will provision what are called MIDs, or merchant IDs. I provision those with the processor, and that's like gold for anyone who has one. That allows you to sell your service or your product to the entire planet, apart from North Korea or any of the blacklisted ones. So they may raise an eyebrow about that. So did that answer your question?
Perhaps you should say why the banks insist on an e-commerce account, and what they're concerned about is people doing with e-commerce. One of the reasons you have to open an account is they're particularly concerned that you might be selling services that might get them in trouble within the United States with their clearing banks. So they go into much more detail regarding what you are doing on e-commerce than with regular just opening a corporate account. And that's where this business plan comes in, so that they can be assured you're not selling Bitcoin to Russians who are laundering it.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. By the way, my apologies. This is Ian Kilpatrick, my partner. This is Sean Paisley. This is David Olson. And the rest of it.
Just to piggyback off of her question, sorry. Again, she stated a lot of business owners are in here. So besides that corporate account, which encompasses the terminal account, and this is similar. We're already doing business, for example, with Butterfield. We have a terminal for them or with them. What are the?
So you got a POS system. So right. You've got the card machine, right?
It's not a POS, but it's the
card swipe.
Card swipe.
Right, yeah. It's a different certification, and good point here. So, and again, it's only 3 forms. It just gives you a different merchant ID. It's a different security protocol. Okay. Now, when the banks, especially in this jurisdiction, and I just had a conversation with a bank in Israel, as an example, Israel. And he had said to me, well, you guys you folks over there in the Cayman Islands, you got a really bad reputation. Excuse me. And, but he's right. The rest of the world, deems that we don't have the greatest reputation. And we've got to, however, and I responded by saying, look, we're one of the most carefully restricted countries in terms of due diligence, AML, KYC. All of the banks have to do that, especially with the corresponding banks in the US. So it seems like they're asking a lot of questions, but they're really just ticking off a box, really, which is where we come in, and I'll guide you through that, and I'll explain all of it. It's not as doom and gloom and scary as one might think. When I saw the first 8 pages for Butterfield, as an example, are the pre-qualifying pages. These are the most important part of this is the most important part of the process, and seemingly the easiest. However, some people make the mistake of saying, I know Bob over at Butterfield, and he's my best friend, so I'm getting an account immediately. Well, that's just not the case. And I'm going to make $5 million next month. Well, they know that's not the case. And they're going to decline. And there's a good chance you'll never get an account again. So that's why we need to be careful and diligent about what we put forward to them. Because then that application will go to Bermuda with 5 different risk departments whose sole purpose is to find risk, right? So, again, we just have to be careful about what we put in and be conservative about it and be practical. It's a fairly straightforward process, but once you have it, you have it. So, thanks for mentioning that. Okay, how does a gateway work? This is the fun part. So I'll let you just kind of review that, but this is when I get to draw. So this is my fun part. So,
There'll be a handout.
pardon me?
Later. Will there be any handouts?
There will be. I'm going to email it to you
Okay,
instead of I saved it 3 or 2.
Sorry.
All right. So Sally. Well, Sally. Sally is in, I don't know, let's name a place, New York or Japan, wherever. Sally goes to, who wants to give me a company? Who wants to be my company?
I'm the charity school. You can.
CIBR.
What's that?
CIBR.
CIBR.
Cayman Island Boat Rental.
All right, boat rental. Sally's gonna rent a boat from you for $100 because you get good deals over there. And it could be US or CI, right? $100 a minute. Right? So, yeah, exactly. So CIBR has their shopping cart, right? They got their webpage. We are a full solution provider, so we're not just a payment gateway. We'll host your website. We'll create your website. We will provide your SSL, which is your secure socket layer. We will give you full functionality to sell your boat rentals online to anyone, anywhere. Okay? So this is how it works. Now this is high level, but hopefully it kind of ticks some boxes here. Sally purchases, she says, right, I'm going to check out this boat rental for $100. It's a great deal. That then comes to us. Our purpose is to provide a secure interface to that transaction and accept or decline that credit card. Well, what gives us the privilege to do that? Who are we to do that? Well, it took us 2 years of painstaking, endless, relentless testing and certification with the processor that we can see if that is indeed Sally, and Sally does have $100 on that credit card. Okay? Then, if she does, then we go to get settled at the bank. Every night at midnight, $100 goes into your bank account. That happens in about 2 seconds. Less than that. Okay? Now, here's the fun part. The bank is is going to say to you, well, I'm sorry, your first name?
CJ.
CJ. We're going to take 3% from you, CJ. Don't quote me on that. That's your relationship with the bank. You negotiate the rate with them. They're going to say, CJ, we're going to take 3% from you. So we started out at $100. Can you see this okay? So we started out at $100, and they're immediately going to take 3. That leaves you with $97. That's not very fair, is it? Right? Now, so you'll see $97 in your bank account the next day. Okay? The gateway fees. We have 10 servers over at Citrus Groves. That's where all of our 911 calls are made here on the island. It's one of the most secure buildings on the island. It's not cheap to host these servers and keep everything secure. So you have an operational cost of $99 a month, 2% plus 50 cents per transaction. Okay? So I will invoice you $2.50 a day a month. Let's do the math. From that $100 transaction, you're only getting $94.50. Now that really doesn't sound fair, right? You sold something for $100. Remember, I said I never want cost to be a barrier for anyone taking advantage of my powers. So how do people in the industry do it now, today? So if you buy Amazon as an example, they may sell that boat rental for $110 to accommodate that their banking fees and their gateway fees. You have other companies. Anyone go to the cinema here? Anyone buy tickets online? Anyone see what's called a convenience fee? Right. I get dinged for that all the time. Right? And I get dinged for that all the time because I absolutely detest standing in lines for an hour and a half. Right? I do not like doing it, especially in today's traffic. I'm over by Lantern Point. Just, getting there. I'll avoid it at all costs. So if it's $8 as an example for the convenience fee, right? Maybe there's 3 of us going. That's fine. I don't mind paying $8. So you as the cinema, as the merchant or as the boat rental person has added that you're not incurring the cost. You're passing it on as a convenience to your customer because they're at home in wherever they are, in Toronto, sipping on a glass of wine at 2 in the morning thinking, geez, I really love a boat rental. You want to get them right then, right? You want to make it easy for them to make their purchase to you. So now, you're at netting out $102.50. All right? So, and you're charging Sally $108, right? So after your costs, then you can take that $2.50 and apply it to your $99 a month, and you should be netting out at about 0. You do the math. So if you have like 40 transactions. Does that make sense? Pretty high level? Now I could have went through and explained it all like this, but that's pretty much what we're saying. Okay? Now, recurring payments. Well, this is very powerful. We want to be able to take our customers' money, especially if we're not good with customers or we're not customer facing all the time. That's just not our thing, but we want to offer them a good, valuable product or service. And when I say product, I'm just going to add something. We have a relationship with DHL. We have a plug-in with DHL. What used to happen is if I order this from the Cayman Islands and I'm in Los Angeles, I will call and I will order this for $10. Fine, I'll take your money. Historically, I'll just give you your money if you give me your credit card over the phone. Well, how much is it shipped? Well, I don't know. Here, let me call you back, or you call me back. I'll call FedEx or DHL, ask them. I'll call you back, give you an approximate. It's just not a way to shop in the Cayman Islands. So we need, and we have, if we have time, I'll show you a real live example at the Cayman Cigar Company, where people can order a cigar or any product that we have. It will generate the waybill for DHL to come pick up, so we will know the estimated shipping costs. So it's $100 for the cigars or whatever it is. $30 for the shipping, your total is $132. You'll get it in 2 days. Done. That's how quick it happens. That's the way we need to be doing business today. And that's the way we can do business today. And so I'm very happy that we have that relationship and we can provide that service. Let me talk about our certification for a moment. So we're not only certified in the Cayman Islands, we're certified throughout the Caribbean and Latin America. Canada as well, and Bermuda, and soon to be Europe. So what does that mean? That means that we're happy we're here because we're settling our transactions here. But should we be in Barbados or Jamaica or anywhere else, we have the option to settle our transactions there, or we can settle them here. The message is that we have a presence here in our jurisdiction, and we're providing a much needed service. And again, of course, any other competency that you otherwise do not have.
Can you actually explain what certification is?
Sure.
What does that allow us to do?
Back to this point. So, First Data Merchant Services, which is now called Fiserv, they're the processor. They are they have a relationship with, they're the ambassadors for the credit card people, Visa, MasterCard. They process the transactions on the back end and give us the blessing of that credit card. Okay, in order to get certified with one of these gateways, as I mentioned previously, it is a long, tedious, painstaking process, and very demanding and very expensive to be able to do that, which I imagine is why nobody has ever done this. There's been a few attempts here in our jurisdiction, and it just didn't pan out. So we were determined to make sure that it did, and we were certainly dedicated in doing so. Mostly because we didn't found the company to make billions of dollars, but we founded it because if you ever go to the market here on Wednesdays or on Saturdays, that's how we sell our products. Where we can sell our products are along 7 Mile Beach. You ever go down there on an August or July? It's a ghost town. So that's why we did it, so that we can encourage people to buy local, and you don't have to be local to do so. So that processor, that certification allows us to work with each one of these, good segue, banks throughout the Caribbean. All right. So if I'm in Panama, where are we in Panama? Right, I can settle in credit quote. Right. Maybe I want part of my business in Panama, and part of it in the Cayman Islands. Right. Or if I'm Green Turtle and I'm expanding out to Turks or the rest of the Caribbean, Barbados or wherever else, I have an option to either settle in Cayman or elsewhere. It's about flexibility. Okay. That answer your question? Yeah. All right. So again, back to the bank account opening. I won't spend too much time on this, but I will say that the most important process is the pre-questionnaire. That's where they determine whether you move ahead or not. But rightly so, most everyone here already has a bank account. Whether it's with Scotia or Butterfield, I'm not sure. If you're with CNB or RBC, we have been working with both banks and FCIB. We are the Cayman Islands with a very small population, and RBC's head office is in Toronto, same with Scotiabank, and to get on their development cycle sometimes is a challenge. However, we hope very soon that we will be. However, we've been very successful in onboarding a lot of customers. You'll notice that we did zero advertising, zero marketing. And there's a reason why we did that. I used to work at Cable and Wireless years ago. I usually duck after I say that. Throw it at me. This is crazy, we would offer a second line promotion to people and not check, allegedly not check, if we had the capacity to provide that service. So then you'd wait 6 months or a year for that second line when somebody else moved or that line became available. I did not want us to be in a position where we offer you a service or a product and couldn't deliver it in a timely fashion. We have cases, so sometimes we can get on board a customer in a couple of days. If they've already got their bank account, we get them their e-commerce account, and we integrate the gateway to their existing website. Sometimes it may take a month if they don't. There are some U.S. citizens. The banks need to do their disclosure and need to do their KYC, and the bank opening process can be lengthy if you don't have all your documentation. But if you're local, generally that goes very quickly. And maybe it's a very complex website. Maybe it's a couple weeks development time, and then the integration of the gateway. So that can take anywhere up to 3 months, depending on how complex. My suggestion for everyone is the KISS philosophy, keeping it simple, and then expanding from there. Because once you start to sell, whether it be books at the university, whether it be new students, right? Making that available. We've got international students around the world, whether that be local, and that is becoming the way of colleges and universities now to accept tuition online, and there's a steady growth in that. And what that does again is lower your admin costs. And if you're a student and you need to buy a book or whatever the case may be, you want to be able to add that flexibility. You got an app on your phone. You want to just be able to do that quite easily and seamlessly, like the rest of it. Right? So that's what we've made possible. Right? And it's not. I promise you, it's not as expensive as what we once imagined it to be. So now I'm going to get into the fun part, which I'll just kind of go over quickly, unless you have any questions, because it's about security. Okay. Your IT guys may ask you for some documentation, which I'll email out to everyone. I'll email this presentation. Okay. It speaks to our PCI compliance, PCI DSS verification, right? Which is what? PCI DSS?
Cayman card industry, data
Bam! Acronyms everywhere, right? Yeah. Okay, so DataWire is the security arm of First Data, which is now called FISA. Okay, and all of these, this just speaks to the authentication and encryption of those transactions as they are processed. All right, so there. And if there's anything you want me to stop at and speak to a little more, please let me know. Otherwise, we're going to get right to the fun part, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. Because like me, if I don't see it, feel it, touch it, I'm not going to understand. You can show me something for hours and hours, and I'll walk away and forget it in a moment, unless I'm actually doing it. 3D Secure, I should mention that, and I just passed over that. 3D Secure is when you make a transaction for those merchants and companies that are very risk averse. So that means you, a customer of yours makes a transaction. You will then send them, the gateway will send them, either by text or an email, a 4-digit code, 4 to 6-digit code, and say, did you make this transaction? If so, make this, enter in this number. That will then pass through the gateway and give you the all clear for that transaction to happen. It's very important. We're the only gateway in the Caribbean. It's mandatory to make that available in North America and Europe. And at some point it will be, but we just wanted to be ahead of the game now and make sure that that's available now. Right? We went at great lengths to make that happen. And certain banks are going to require that as well. That at least the merchant has the option to choose for that extra security. Secure socket layer, right? That allows your website that you'll see a little lock on your website that gives the HTTPS before the www, right? Fully PCI verified. I just love saying the word asymmetric, cryptographic. I don't know what it means, but I just like saying it. But a key, effectively, a unique key is given to you, okay? And then the TLS, which supersedes EMC. Okay, now the fun stuff. Virtual terminal, invoicing module, creating payment plans, signing up members or customers or subscribers or whatever you want to call them, depending on the business that you're in. Boat renters, right? People who come all the time, just want to make sure that that boat's available on that week, every month. Put them on a plan, make sure that it's there for them. And then our very new apps for Android and iOS, card swipe functionality. Alright, you charge this in your car, wherever you are, whether you could be in New York, on the island, East End, West Bay, Jamaica, at the beach, Royal Palms, you want to take my picture? Give me your credit card details. There you go. So we've never kind of really had this, right? So this allows us to be very flexible. So a lot of our service industry, right? You need your AC fixed. The service guy's going to come out there and fix your AC, right? You don't have this with it. Swipe it, right? So anyone who is flexible, you need groceries, right? And this gives them the ability to be able to do this. Whatever your service may be, it can just go right in your pocket with your phone, which Sean's going to show you in a few moments. But we say that to last. And we'll get through this. So let's just start with the virtual terminal if we can. So,
how does the chip functionality do different than that?
Very good point. This is not chip. Chip is EMV. We are in the process of getting EMV certified, which is a whole different animal. That will take us about, committed by the end of this year. So it'll take about 9 months before we're EMV, which is the card chip and the tap that we are getting now. So right now, this is just the swipe at the moment, right?
But they're saying the chip is supposed to be much secure.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what, and then they'll say something else is more secure, right? So that's just the way of it. But we certainly want to get to where we're at industry standards, right? And EMV right now is that. But we're okay with the night strike, as I said, to allow for the security. We've got the 3D secure as well, and the PCI compliance, right? And there's something called a chargeback that, we monitor every single transaction that ever happens, and if there's any anomalies, anything, that occurred, we will know about it immediately. The bank will know about it, the process will know about it, right? So we kind of have a very good handle on that. But as we grow and as the market grows, right, EMV just allows for that, again, that extra security, right? It's a step beyond the CBB number, CCB number, right? You have that 3 numbers on the back, and then, well, what do you have if somebody behind you is kind of looking, right? So that's why you have the 3D security. But we're getting there to 3D. Right now, it's just magnetic stripe. Okay.
You mentioned chargeback just now. So based on your fees, what if there is a chargeback?
Right.
Your 2 point percentage that you held behind the 2%.
Right.
Is that dead, or you actually reimburse that if you reimburse the
Chargeback goes, the bank will know about it. So what will happen is I'll get my credit card statement, and I'll say, I didn't buy that. I didn't buy that boat rental. So I will go to the bank and say, I didn't buy that, and make a complaint. The bank calls that a chargeback, right? Which is why we never want to hold on to anyone's credit card details, because I can say, Ian has my credit card details, and I didn't make that purchase. Go check out Ian. I didn't do it. Must have been him, right? So the bank will then, and I'll explain more about that in a moment. So we'll have the ability to refund our customers before it even sees the bank if we overbill them. And on the word refund, it is standard and it is mandatory on the business plan for any bank to have a refund policy. And that can be a generic refund policy. The service will be reimbursed within 7 days. If you're not happy with the service, if it was, other than acts of God, other than Ivan coming again, if you're, we will refund your service or partial refund, as long as it deems to be acceptable, but it has to be written down. But generally, chargebacks, when we go through the business plan, you'll know if you're gonna get any chargebacks. I doubt.
I think, my question is, I've charged you $100. You in turn filed a dispute that it was not you.
Right.
The bank decided they're gonna reimburse you your $100.
The card issuing bank.
Card issuing bank.
Right.
Which means that $100 that was supposed to have been in my account, or it's been 2 weeks, and I've had experience with this. So 2 weeks, you decided, let's see, you got your credit card statement, and the banks 90% of the time will side with the cardholder.
Exactly.
You got 2.5% or 2% out of that transaction. Will you also reimburse that 2%? Or I'm losing $102?
No, I will not reimburse it. And it's for you to, because it's your relationship with the bank, to say, and I'm going to show you, that'll make more sense to you when I get to that. You're going to have visibility of every single transaction at the second it happens. So when the bank says, CJ, this person is disputing this transaction, you can say, well, let them dispute it all they want. The gateway is showing you right here when and where, at what time that transaction has taken place, right? So that's verifiable evidence. So with that evidence, the bank will most likely not reimburse the customer, right? And you said you've had experience with that before, right? But you didn't have the evidence to say, well, that didn't, I have nothing to stand on,
How evident? Like I said, the bank 90% of the time
Right.
sides with the cardholder.
And that may be true. That may be true. All right.
Derek,
Yeah.
quick question. 2% is it what up to what amount does that 2% go?
Right, that's a good point. Again, I never want cost to be a barrier for anyone. This, I can't do anything about. That's for you to work out with the bank. This, we have control over, right? If you're a new business, if you're making 1 million transactions, sometimes we'll put you on a payment plan or something negotiated that makes sense for your business, right? However, it is policy that we have standard list price, right? So I get what you're saying. What if I'm a low volume, high ticket price company? So I'm making, I may have 10 transactions this year, but they're all $20 million, right? Well, then we'll negotiate something different, right? Let's go to the virtual terminal. This is the electronic form of that Verifone device that you would rent from the bank. I don't know, $79, $109, whatever it is. Okay? So somebody comes in to your store and says, look, I got this invoice that you want to pay, right? Take my credit card, right? So you can move that device aside. Until the bank has said that. Right? So just go ahead and put an invoice number in there, any arbitrary invoice number. And just an amount of anything you want, $1 million. Whatever. Yeah. You got your choice of US KYD. Forget about that US stuff. Let's go to the KYD. Yeah, Sean, you look as good as any. Let's go there. All right, and let's just proceed to pay. All right. Now the next page that you're going to see, this is the goal that was talking about. What happened to you there?
You said you do not have that amount in your account.
Go back to the virtual terminal.
That's what's gonna be Maria's level.
is the gold I was referring to. This is your payment page. Okay? This is when we provision the merchant IDs, the MIDs, with the processor. That allows you to have this payment page which speaks directly to your bank account. Okay? So anyone, anywhere, can, and I'll send out an invoice to somebody in a moment. So if you just want to go ahead and fill out your credit card details here, Sean.
2 hours.
0220.
Sorry.
0220.
Oh.
Set. And submit. So that will go through. Now, us as the merchant, this will happen automatically, and your customer will receive an email receipt for that $10 or $1 million that's supposed to go through to try to eyeball it. All right. Now, what happens if a customer is not in your store? You don't have a physical location, or you're not present, and you don't have the cool swipes, right? And your customer's in Taiwan, right? You need to be able to, you don't want to rely on your customer to wire transfer you something or send you a check. Again, you want them to be able to pay you, have that flexibility to pay you immediately. So we need to send them an invoice. So Sean, you can just go to the invoice. Back up twice.
Where was the authentication code stage? You said we're the only provider who does the email and text message or the form.
The 3D, I didn't put that in there, but I can show you.
I just wondered.
Yeah. Right. So that'll happen before the transaction it gets settled. So if you can just go to invoice here, Sean, please. And let's just send an invoice to Sean, the customer. And later on, we can send an invoice to anyone else if you're interested, and we'll track that $1 million again. All right, and KYD, right? Now, what we've done is we've created this invoice for $20, and we emailed it to wherever your customer is in the world. Sean, if you can just go to your email. Just refresh that. All right. So the first one was the receipt that we made from the virtual terminal. This is okay, and then the next one is the invoice that we got. Now I'm on a plane and I'm going to, I don't know, England, whatever, and I received this payment. You want that customer, your customer, to have that flexibility to make that payment immediately, because you don't want to get the phone call, well, I didn't get it, whatever. So just click on the invoice thing. And again, the payment page. So this would all be customized to your company, whether that be ICCI or boat rental, whatever the case may be. So again, put in the credit card details. And then the customer will receive that receipt. If you can just go to the transaction page, please. As a merchant, we want visibility of all activity in our company, because we're going to act as the administrator. We're going to have dot status to everything that happens. And we can assign certain privileges to a salesperson, to whomever else, right? But we want that full visibility. We want to be able to refund people before it even gets to the bank and they say they didn't make the transaction and give a charge back. So here are the transactions that Sean made. If you can just refresh that, Sean. So there we go. So we see the transactions that he's made for $10, $20, right? But we know that the transaction is not going to get settled at the bank until midnight tonight, right? So if we've made a typo, we've overcharged somebody, we made a mistake, they called us back, said they weren't happy with our service, the product was defective, whatever the case may be. Sean, if you can double click that, right? Or maybe the card got declined, right? We then now have their email address and we can put their phone number, any contact details on them. We can call them and say, hey, man, do you have another card? Or do you have another way of paying? Maybe it's $1 million. Maybe we need to put them on a payment plan. Can we put you on a payment plan? But it is a customer nonetheless, whether the card got declined or not. But here, maybe we made a typo, or maybe it was a disgruntled customer. We need to refund them 10% or whatever. So let's refund $5 here. Right? And refund.
But you said maybe the card got declined. Earlier on, it would not have been processed because you are checking the card prior. So why would we be concerned that maybe the card got declined? When before it got a paid invoice, it would have determined that prior.
Okay, so scroll down. Even a decline is a transaction. You're going to have full visibility of everything that's approved or declined. Okay? So a transaction is a transaction. Maybe it's an expired card. Maybe it's just a general card. So if you can go to the next page. So this is still a transaction. That will not get settled into your account at midnight because it hasn't been approved. So we want to be proactive and be able to communicate with that customer, and maybe they have another payment.
But Sean, again, I'm not trying to take over this meeting, but
Yes, you
Sean,
are.
Sean, let me give you, because Sean made a payment,
Yeah.
and he got a receipt
Yeah.
stating that it was paid.
Right.
My question is, once he input that credit card detail, if it was not sufficient funds right there, he shouldn't have gotten a receipt.
Right,
stating that
but
was
it
paid.
wasn't. That wasn't the case, was it? If it was insufficient funds, we've got a response that would have said insufficient funds. But we got a response that said approved. That's why it went through. If it was insufficient funds, Sean would have received an email saying insufficient funds, and I would have received this in my transaction module as the owner of the company that they had insufficient funds.
Okay, but my question was just based on your statement stating.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Well, you said that if the card was declined, there might be a refund. But I was going to
Oh,
ask,
sorry.
what
Yeah,
is-
if we needed to, it was a hypothetical, right? Yeah.
What is the cut-off time? Because what if somebody puts their transaction through in Japan at 11:59 and I'm snoozing and I'm not watching my card, and then now it's gone through cleared at midnight and I don't want to make a refund or something, it's too late.
Then it
What's
won't
the
be too
cutoff
late.
time?
It won't be too late. So then, even if it was settled, we can still refund the customer because the refund is yet another transaction.
But you're losing that 2%.
No, you won't. I don't charge on refunds.
So there's no cut-off time. If somebody pays at
I
11:59.
charge the 50 cents on refunds or declines, not the 2%. Pardon me?
But there's no cut-off time in the Cayman business day or something. So if somebody's paying in Japan at 11:58 at night, 2 minutes later, you'll settle that fund at midnight, payment time.
The bank will settle the fund. The bank
Will
will
settle
settle
it 2 minutes
Right.
later.
Well, 2 minutes or 10 minutes. I think that's the bank.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That process.
just trying to understand.
You, as the business owner, can refund the customer at any point in that process, right? The payment page will only stay open for 24 hours for security reasons, unless you need, for whatever reason, for it to stay open longer. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, now, if it's a big ticket item, if it's tuition, and it's, $10,000, maybe we want that, to give that student the opportunity to pay that in 3 payments, or 4 payments. So, Sean, if we can just go to, I'm sorry, let's just go back to the transactions again. Any questions about that? So this gives you full visibility of everything that's happening in your organization in terms of financial transactions. We can also export this into Excel, right? So we can put this into our spreadsheet, do a pivot table, whatever it is, dump it into QuickBooks, right? And that's on our development cycle to have an integration with that as well. Yeah.
Who will have access to these things?
It's entirely up to you. So we will give you the administration privileges, and if you're in an organization that's maybe it's just accounting that has that, and then your salespeople, you don't want to give everyone the ability to refund, right?
No.
So
The question was, when we are integrating Cayman Gateway into our website, right? So after integrating, when we do any transaction, it involves the 2% and 50 cents. With it, right?
Approved transactions, I'm sorry, I should have been clear on that. Approved transactions are 2% plus 50% is 50 cents. I don't charge the 2% on declined transactions because I don't think that's fair, right? But I have to pay for the cost of the transaction, so I charge the 50 cents.
Whether we need to pay anything to integrate Cayman Gateway into our website.
It's a good question there as well. So we have different types of websites. We got WordPress websites, PHP websites. We will the standard integration is $299, and that will take us 2 days. We'll need full credentials, your username, password for the server, the FTP, right? And if that's as straightforward as it is, otherwise we'll give you the API documentation, and your developers can integrate it.
Will Cayman Gateway accept all forms of money? Like each and every country has their own currency, right? So will it accept all the forms of currency?
The banks here will only settle in USD and KYD currently. Right? Now, it's a good point. Everyone hears about cryptocurrency, and so Cayman Gateway will be one of the first companies to accept crypto as partial payment for the services. So if you don't have the $99, maybe you'll just, but you got some Bitcoin, you'll accept that as partial payment, right? And you can put that into our wallet.
So you're saying if you're saying if somebody has a credit card, say from England in pounds, that can't use on this?
Yeah, of course you can. It'll be, the transaction will be settled in US, but whatever the daily rate is, according to the bank, right?
So all major currencies, I think that was the question, Swiss francs and euro and
Yeah.
sterling.
So currently, again, the banks, they'll accept in every currency,
Yeah,
but they'll only
exactly.
settle.
It'll convert.
But we want to know where our customers' currencies are, that's the thing.
The customer can pay in any currency, but the bank will only settle in US or KYD. Right? So you can pay in yen if you want to, right?
I think that was the question, can the
Right, okay,
customers'
sorry.
credit card be in any currency, even if it ends up in our accounts in USD?
Of course. So if I use a Canadian credit card in Canadian dollars, it will settle in US dollars. And on my statement, I will get the exchange rate on that statement, on my credit card statement.
Do you charge for the services to assist the opening of an account?
I don't. No, I don't. Yeah, I think it's a necessary process, and there was talk about that, but I think it's something, it's a collaborative effort that I'm going to do.
So realistically, it's $99 a month, $299 for a basic integration, and 2% lost 50 cents.
Yeah.
And that's basically
Those are the things.
that's the numbers.
Okay, let's go quickly through the payment plans. We need to set somebody up on a payment plan, because again, you had that aha moment. So Sean, if we can just go to the other portal. Please log into that other one, yeah? Okay. So, let's go ahead and create a plan. 3 o'clock in the morning, we're sure that it's a Valentine's plan. I don't know, whatever the case may be, right? So let's just, somebody shout out a plan name, whatever. Just put student plan. Oh. Put a student plan there. Student plan, just chemistry.
These are payment plans you're referring to?
Pardon me?
These are payment plans that you're referring to?
Yeah. Right. These could be payment plans, they could be subscriptions, they could be whatever, again, whatever's appropriate for your business. Can you see that okay? No? Do you want to grab a chair over there? Yeah. Okay, membership name, just put recurring student. Right. Now we've got an option, maybe it's a one-time plan, right, or recurring. In this case, we want a recurring plan, okay? And maybe the frequency of the plan, maybe it's weekly, monthly, annually, it could be daily if you wanted, but let's just, in this case, in this example, just put monthly, right? And put, I don't know, put $1,000. Right, and just KYD is fine, and for 12 months, we'll make it an annual plan. It could be a 3-year plan, it could be a 5-year plan, it could be an infinite plan, right? So let's just put 12 months and create a plan. So that's basically how quick we created a payment plan. So let's just go ahead and view the plan, right? There's a student plan, down $3,000 a month, done. Now we need the student to apply to this plan, right? Let's go ahead and look at manage the members and add a member. Okay, so Sean, you want to be a student? Sean is one of our interns from UCCI as well, who we've onboarded, and he's been fantastic. I still want credit for your passing grades.
Of course.
With some kind of love there. All right. Now, this is important. Sean is the owner of this company, or of this school, and he has no ability to apply a plan to the student. Anyone know why? At this stage, he can't apply a plan to the student. Because the student hasn't given a payment method yet. We don't want to be in a position where we provide a service to a customer and then we're chasing them down for payment, right? So let's just go ahead and create this member, right? And add the member. Now this member, we've sent an email to, right? So he can log into our portal. So this unsuspecting student is going to receive an email from us and say, whatever your company name is, click here to complete your registration. All right, okay, well, give us a password, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever's easy, whatever you can remember. So my limitations. Complete the registration. Now, now we've set the password. Now let's log in. All right. So his email address or her email address, the password, and log in. Okay. Immediately, please provide us your payment method. So let's add a card. And the 4242. 0 to 20. 1, 2, 3.
When I start using that credit card number you just gave, how much credit do I have on that?
Limitless. Or 404 error. All right, so that's fantastic. Now, so he's added the credit card. Okay, you can look at his profile. You can update this. You can put his photo in there. Whatever he wants to do with his profile. So you can just log out of here for a second. Sean, just go back to the administrator. Sean, the administrator. Sean, the school administrator. So yeah, he's all over the place. So if we go to manage the members, right? Now we see that Sean doesn't have a plan assigned to him. So we need to assign him now. Now that we have his credit card details, his payment method, and we're assured, and so if you can just edit the membership and view and assign a plan, and the drop down menu, and the recurring student plan. All right, and there's your recurring student plan. Now, this is cool. Maybe we like Sean and we want to give him a discount, right? Maybe this person's already on an existing plan, and they started 3 months ago, and they were just paying cash, right? But we just put them on an annual plan. So maybe we just want to say that they've already made 3 payments, so we'll only bill them up to 9 months, right? But in this case, it's just a 4-year plan. Billing start date today. Sean, school starts today, my friend. All right, joining date, which is today. If it was 3 months ago, the joining date would have been 3 months ago. All right, finishing date is 1 year from today. So 2021, January 30th, 31st. What date?
Yes.
Alright, and add. Alright, and then update the member. Sean's card will be debited now that $1,000 every month. We'll see the transaction in our administration database or the transaction database automatically January 30th at this time every month here on it. But Sean picks up another course in the meantime, or a book, or Sean's just a real pain and causing a lot of trouble, so we have to charge him, right? Or he's eliminating. Sean's recurringly in classes all the time, so he doesn't have time, to, I don't know, do whatever. So we're going to charge him anyway. So let's just go to view the member. All right, let's go and charge the member. And maybe we want to charge the member and select a payment and just a due payment. And maybe it was for that plan, that's fine, an outstanding plan. For whatever reason his card maybe expired or whatever, so we just need to ask him for a new card and then charge him. Right? And then submit that plan. Oh, description, late payment. And then submit.
You could enroll a customer as a member and then make ad hoc payments if they've got their details saved.
Yeah.
You send them in and then charge them.
Exactly. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe they want something above and beyond that particular, right? And there you go.
Can I see your account history?
Yeah. Just go ahead and look at the member history, payment history, and you may have to refresh that.
So they'll be able to sign in somewhere and get that information.
So Sean is acting as the administrator now. So Sean, do you want to go back as Sean the student? When I asked you to do this, you didn't think you were going to get into it like this, huh? Hey Sean, just come downstairs and drive for me for a little bit. Sure, no problem.
It's fine.
Go ahead and look at your profile, Sean. All right. So we see that Sean's logged into his profile. He can see that he's on this particular student plan now, right? He can look at his manage his payment method. Sean can also make a payment. Maybe Sean knows that he needs to buy some books or whatever. He can make a payment now. He can look at his payment history here as well. Right?
Suppose I didn't say like have a website, but I had emails usually to be used as my sort of CRM system. Would I be able to put a hyperlink in my email to give them a link to that, to their
page, to the payment page,
to their membership, to their history page?
Yes, but it's a secure page, right? So we can take that offline, but I'm sure there's something we can do and make that only available for a certain user for a certain amount of time. Right? Am I getting your question?
No, that's fine. I just wanted to kind of make sure I got my mind around what that was. How to be used, because I know not every time I'll be using a website, I might just be using email as my relationship tool.
Well, this one, so take this as an example for a strata member at Plantation, right? And they want to go ahead and look at their history of their strata payments. All they have to do is log in, because they log in as their email address, their own secure password, and they look at their strata payments that they made, right? It's their complete, so that's Sean's complete secure login as a student. Me as the administrator, or Sean the administrator, doesn't have any access to that. Because as soon as I do, then I have access to his credit card information. Right? So only Sean the student has access to that, which is where we want to be. Right? Okay. And then of course we can add additional plans if the student has a different plan. Any questions about adding payment plans or memberships?
Paying plus generates transaction fee for it every month.
Oh, for creating the payment plan module is a different module altogether, right? Than the invoicing module. So to be able to have access to the fully functional payment plan module is $140 a month, right? All the transaction fees are the same. customized to your company, or your business, or your organization. Right?
You were setting up the payment plan for on the same outcome. So at which point he was going to be on the payment plan? Does he have to accept it, or how does it?
Well, when he went in and logged in and added his credit card details, because if I were the administrator or of the school, I would say, Shauna, these are the courses that you have to take, right? So you need to log in securely, and then we'll see. When he went in there, he had to add the credit card details.
Yeah, but that means that you can then accumulate payment plan you want.
Right, I could, right, I could. I could put about that $1 million plan. Yeah, and that's, well, we want to give that ability to the administrator, right, and not necessarily the student, but I see your point. So if the student wanted to change plans, you see we have additional plans here, right? So we can delete a plan, or we can modify a plan.
And the
add
student
additional-
can report
the student,
administrator.
the student, but that's entirely up to the organization. And that has come up, but in this particular scenario, or in a lot of these scenarios, we don't want the customer to have that flexibility to change the product. Because if I'm on a particular plan, or if I have a gym membership, and I'm paying $89 a month, I'm on that membership, but then my buddy Joe over there has got this sweet deal, he's paying only $69 a month, right, because he's got a friendship with the owner. You don't want to give me the ability to change my plan to $69 a month when I don't have that relationship with you, right? So we don't want the customers to have full flexibility, and we also don't want them to have full visibility of all of our plans. So you're my customer, but I may not want you to know that Will's my customer, or the other person's my customer, and I certainly don't want you to know what they're paying, and they wouldn't want you to know what they're paying, right? So that's why there's that security.
What about having, you said monthly plans, but then say they wanted to pay 6 months and for the equivalent of 5 months?
That would be a different plan.
No, but I'm saying that's, you would show them what they could pick from.
Yeah, and so in a particular case that we have, which we're not showing here because it's customer specific, merchant specific, right? So some people have 10 plans. Some people only have 3. So in this case, if the student wanted to pay in 3 payments, or 6 payments, or 12 payments, each would have a different price associated to it. So if you're going to pay in one payment, it's $1,000. But if you're going to pay me twice, I might charge you $550 for 2 payments, which means you're paying $1,100. If you want the luxury, the liberty to pay in 3 payments, maybe I'm charging you $575 a payment, right? The more payments, the higher the price generally.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're going to pay to incentivize people to pay in one payment, you say it's $1,000 and they pay in one payment. But if they can't afford it, you want to also give them that opportunity to make it a little more palatable. Right? Yes.
The interface looks simple and effective.
Thank you.
Anybody can access it very easily. Now, you're collecting data, right? So you're collecting student information like name and his card detail. So how we are protecting that data, sir?
How are we protecting the data?
The data.
The data is all protected. So the student information themselves is held in the school portal, not the payment portal, right? The payment information, the student payment information, is held over on one of our 10 servers at Citrus Grove that even I don't have visibility to. It's all secure. PCI DSS, which is
Payment card industry, data security standard.
Yes, nowadays, people started to talk about data protection law and 2-step verification process.
Yep.
So when we are integrating Cayman Gateway into our website, so in our site we are maintaining all the student database, but somehow Cayman Gateway, it has some records about the card details or banking information. So
no banking information, just the credit card details, and you'll notice that in the transaction page, it's still X'd out those numbers, right? I don't have any visibility. All of that is encrypted, right? So nobody has access to, nobody, except the card holder who has the card to that information. Now you as the administrator will have access to what they paid and when they paid it, because that's your business, right? And I'll have access to that as the gateway, because that's my business, right? But nobody else has access to that.
How does the seller make all that obvious to the buyer in a succinct way that you can have on your website, so they can just go, oh, I see, this is gonna be safe?
How is the
How can the
purchaser
buyers see this?
comfortable
It's gonna be
or
safe,
confident that their purchase is going to be secure and safe?
Yep.
Right. So there's a general, if you go to the Cayman Gateway website, there's a PCI DSS verification logo that Cayman Gateway has, that all general payment gateways, like PayPal and any of the other big ones, they all have to be certified in order to make that transaction. So in order for the banks to use us, that all has to be certified. We have to be fully certified. But I get your point. How does the customer have the confidence that buying from you is going to be secure?
Yeah.
Right.
They have to know what that logo means.
Well, they'll have to, but that's with anything. How do I know when I go to Amazon it's going to be secure, other than Amazon is a common name, right? It is a,
Is there a certificate or?
yeah, PCI compliance.
They can access.
Of course, yeah, and when you use the gateway, like when they go to check out and buy your product, right? It'll go to the put your credit card details in, and then they have a stamp that we'll put on your website that says PCI DSS verified, right? So that you're fully, you have the blessing.
What's to stop a fraudulent website from putting the same stuff?
Now we're talking about two different things. A website's a website. A gateway's a gateway. And there's something to be careful of. When people, they'll say, look, I'll be an e-commerce site for you, and maybe they're just the website developers. And then they'll come to a payment gateway provider like us and say, hey, can we use your gateway and integrate to the back end of our website, right? So that's what you as the merchant will see, the website. Oh, it's cool, the website, the shopping cart. And however, they're still using that gateway in the back end, which is us. Now, as I mentioned previously, we're a full solution provider. We'll do everything, right? So we're not just the gateway. But website development isn't our core business, but we will do. Last but not least, let's show the POS. So this is the card swipe. So I don't know if you just want to hand it around and maybe show your phone.
Everybody put their cards.
So look at that, just swipe that way. So you can see, you can just put that in your pocket. So this is how it works. And customer can enter that in, they swipe the card, and
And it shows on the app. There's an app.
yeah, there's an app on that. So if you have your phone, you're going to show it around. We tried to get the phone to link up to this, but for some reason it wasn't. I don't know if you got a firewall issue with the.
Does your logo stay on it, or we can put our own logo on
I prefer it stays on it, but you can put your own logo on it.
it? Stick it on the back.
Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to rip out my sticker already.
Switch it on and off.
Right. So you press the button down
This is the button,
it
this
beeps,
is
it flash 3 times, right? And so that device connects to your phone by Bluetooth, right? So you can have the card in one pocket or the other.
Thank you.
No problem.
So generous.
The virtual terminal is iOS and Android.
Yeah, that's what Sean's coming around with. So Android, I've got an Android phone, she's got an iOS. So both are good. So basically that's what it is, right? It's the virtual terminal, the invoicing module on an app. Right? That you can carry around, be mobile depending on your business. You're smiling at me, happy? Okay, good.
I'm definitely
what's the
that
cost?
reason that everything is on our phone.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Or it's just your phone.
Take it on iPad.
All right, as Sean does that, I believe we're running out of time, so if you have any more questions, my contact details are there. Again, we're just located upstairs beside BDO. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. Please enjoy some lunch. And we very much appreciate you coming. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.